and I'd love to make it at a price point that's a sub $1,000.
Yes,
that's my goal.
That's amazing.
I don't know how you're gonna do it. I've seen what you have in this and other arcade machines with the price tag that you put on them. I don't see it. It's finally here, guys. The 10,000 subscriber, super limited to amount sold, anniversary edition t-shirt. And to celebrate this occasion, I have changed the logo to red and white because that makes it special. And along with this, I have fictional quotes from pinball manufacturers as if they were the ones that were making this t-shirt. And some of the pinball manufacturers approve of this shirt. Get yours today at silverballswag.com. Links in the video description down below. What's up, guys? So, good. Be doing something a little bit different today or tonight. I have started drinking, and because I felt like I needed to be a little inebriated for what I'm about to go through. And the thing is, this is all about the Wonderland Amusements in the making, okay? For those guys that have not seen what they are working on or what potentially they are going to be working on, it's this. Now, I spoke to one of the individuals at Wonderland Amusements, and the individual I spoke with is not, presented in this video. This is actually the CEO that has more knowledge of what is going on. But I'll go through some of my experience, because like I said, I had basically kind of went away in the interview with somebody, but I didn't record it. But I'm going to be using Kongs or Us. I'm using a good amount of your footage in this video. By all means, I'll put a link in the description below where you can find his channel and everything, and the link to the actual full-length video and stuff. But I'm just going to watch it, and, and I'm obviously going to be editing it because you don't need to see the whole thing here. But I'm curious of what his answers are going to be like compared to the answers that I received. Now, hold on. But from what I gathered so far whenever I had my discussion with somebody is that this is so early. Very early. So early, in fact, that I do not think they should have brought this to Expo. But we'll see how that may change further in the video. Let's get it started.
Cary, how are you?
I'm very good.
Good, good. Tell me about your background and kind of introduce yourself.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I've been a designer of toy products for almost 35 years.
Okay.
So I've been in the toy industry. I created the Vortex football,
nice.
Just so you know.
I have one of those.
You have one of those? That's great.
I used to own a Vortex football as well as a kid. I want to say it was like purple and black. That's my vague memory of it, but that is one of those toys that I definitely did enjoy for as long as I did have it. I had it for a very long time. It was really cool how it had that whistling sound whenever you threw it. I don't know. I digress. So what I gather so far is that he's got a lot of experience in toys. And I look at his bio right here that B has put on here for us, and his expertise spans everything from blue line sketches to 3D renderings and retail-ready products. Jerry has collaborated with top brands like Disney, Mattel, Hasbro, and Fisher-Price to bring imaginative ideas to life. So, toys.
Great. So I've been designing toys, creating products, manufacturing those products overseas for almost 35 years.
Nice.
And this particular product, you may know or may not know that I am the creator of Arcade 1-Up. So I designed and...
Is that something to brag about? Is it? I mean, I don't mean like Arcade 1-Up, like all of it is just crap or anything. I understand that it's definitely reached a wide audience, and a lot of people love what they've done. Okay? It's the price range is right there for people, and the space that it takes up, is reasonable for a lot of people. I've got one here, but mainly just because of the cabinet. I mean, I want to get something better than this, obviously, but this is just fine for what I have now. But so already starting out with that he made Arcade One Up. I see the pros and I guess a little bit of the cons with that.
Created Arcade One Up. I no longer work with those guys, but I'm fine. I have no ill will. I wish them well. But I learned a lot about manufacturing big box items overseas.
So it kind of makes you wonder, it's always funny whenever, there's a separation between two entities on what the other person or individual or entity is going to say about the one that they left. Oh, there's no ill will. I mean, that's a common thing to say. What usually causes this separation is, there's a number of things it could be, kind of thing. But from what I gather, from what little I am in within the Arcade One-Up space with other content creators, it looks like Arcade One-Up is not doing very well currently. Evidently, they're doing a lot of rinse and repeat of machines that have already been done. The quality is evidently going downhill. They're making machines that are just really just to look at, that they're not even really that functional. I guess that's including their newest crane machine and stuff. So, kind of curious of why he's no longer with them. We're not going to get that answer from him, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, we'll see what else we got.
And that's how I got started with this particular product.
Yes, so Wonderland Amusements, new company, new name, and a new vision for a smaller scale pinball machine. Obviously looking at it first off, you may not tell, but is there an actual scale for this? I know home arcades were used to 3/4 scales. Would you say this is a 3/4 scale, or is it its own size?
Well, it's its own size. Okay. I don't know the percentage that it is less than a real size, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I want to say that machine is basically a gutted, blacked out version of an At Games or something like that pinball machine that's currently on the market. All right, so hold on. Stop loading all the ads. But correct me if I'm wrong, which it's not impossible, guys. But that looks pretty damn similar to what we just saw. You got the same kind of like height and size. I don't know if they have this on the back where it's curvature on the back box, but it looks damn close to what we're seeing in this video. But it looks damn close, and it's definitely not full size. I mean, and here's the thing: I'm not sure if he's going to discuss this during this interview or anything, but this is more than likely not going to be their cabinet. It might. It just looks so damn close to like At Games, the Attack from Mars. I'm pretty sure this was not built by them for the show. This was probably something that they took that was already existed to just kind of give people something physical to look at and touch going on.
Now, obviously looking at it first off, you may not tell, but is there an actual scale for this? I know home arcades were used to 3/4 scales. Would you say this is a 3/4 scale, or is it its own size?
Well, it's its own size. Okay. I don't know the percentage that it is less than a real size, to be honest with
Okay.
you. I did measure out real pinball machines, so the height is what a real pinball machine is. But I know that my pinball machine is 5 inches not as long as a standard, and it's about 3 inches to 4 inches smaller in the width than a standard pinball machine.
Nice, very cool. All right, so again, I think the key thing about this, it's made for more of the, I would say, casual community. The closest comparison that I thought of when I first heard about this product was the Zizzo pinball machines. It was like kind of a physical version that was made for the home. Right. But tell me your vision from that to kind of the Stern pinball.
Okay, so B, I'm glad that you brought up the Zizzle games, because that was what came to my mind as well when it came to what they were building and what they were working on in the price range that they were looking at. I'm like this, and from the experience of Jerry here, it seems like what they're going to be making is a toy. Okay, the ball size is literally like a 3/4 size of your typical 1 1/16 pinball. So the ball is already smaller, which means everything else is going to be smaller. I feel like this is going to be just enough pinball to piss you off, okay? And that's just what it's going to be. So I can already tell you, I'm only a couple of minutes into this, but I do not think this is marketed towards us pinball enthusiasts. It's not towards us. This is towards people that are not familiar with real size pinball machines, like, at all. These are the people that are like looking for something that's close enough or something to give them a little bit of that nostalgia feeling. But I just don't know how they're going to do it in this form factor for the price range that they're looking at. I don't know. Let's see what else they got to say.
Sure. The modern pins, like, where's your product going to fall within that range?
Well, I'm familiar with that Sizzle product, and I didn't like it very much. I felt it was more of a toy than it was of a pinball machine.
Well, that's my point. I'm curious on how you're going to be able to do this in the price range and it not feel like a toy. And when I was asking the individual some of these questions, it seemed like it was like, yeah, we're just going to cross that bridge when we get to it. Yeah, we're going to cross that bridge when we get to it. Like, you don't have answers for this? What?
So that's really when I was thinking about, when I left Arcade 1-Up, I did think about, you know what, pinball machines. I wonder if we can take the same formula and make a 3/4 scale real pinball machine. So that's my goal right now. Nice. I want to make a 3/4 inch scale. I want to make a good playing machine that looks really well.
Nice.
And I'd love to make it at a price point that's a sub $1,000.
Yes,
that's my goal.
That's amazing.
I don't know how you're going to do it. I've seen what you have in this and other arcade machines with the price tag that you put on them. I don't see it. I'm like going in my mind of all the mechanical parts that you're going to need, all the electrical components that you're going to need. There's no way.
I really think that's kind of the kicker point of this, because the next closest home stern pin, if you will, is a $5,000 pin that's currently selling at Costco, you know? And so that's that market, but sub 1,000, that sounds amazing. So, but from a physical standpoint, what do you think some of the features will include? Is it going to look like a standard pinball? This doesn't actually have anything in the playfield at the moment, but what can people expect to see inside?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm such...
B, you're doing good on the questions here. Just wanted to state that right here before we continue. I'm curious to see what his answer is.
In the early stages of designing, one of the reasons I'm here at the show is to learn, because this is the biggest pinball show there is. So every pinball machine that there is on the floor right now, and I'm kind of learning. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a pinball guy.
Oh my God. I need a refill. I can make it work for another couple of sips, but all right. So the red flags are starting to drop. You're not a pinball guy, so maybe some of your team members are pinball guys. But I tell you right now, you're not going to be completely educated by one visit to Pinball Expo over the weekend.
So I'm being fair about this, but I'm learning.
That's great. That's great that you acknowledge that right now after making a product for this.
But I want to look at real pinball, and I want to say, okay, these are the things that are necessary to be in a good playing machine. Yeah. You know, the proper flippers, proper, those bumpers, those mushrooms, whatever is proper in a pinball machine, mine's going to have it.
Proper means it's going to be full size and the quality, which also means cost. Money. Oh my God.
Nice.
So
cool.
I'm learning right now. I haven't designed it yet. I really have not designed it. Over the next 8 months, I will be designing it.
Well, thanks again, Jerry. Good luck. I'm looking
Thank you
forward to
very
seeing the
much.
product.
Thank you very much.
All right. All right, I'm here with Peter and Andres from One.
Okay, so that was the CEO. And evidently he's designing it? That's what it seemed like? But we got a couple of other people here. Let's see what they're doing.
Wonderland Amusements. How's it going, guys?
Good, how are you?
You want to introduce yourself first, Peter?
Yep, I'm Peter Gold with Wonderland Amusements. I am, whoa, that's very close.
So close, I just want
So
to
close, I see that. I'm helping out with marketing and operations for the company.
Very cool. All right, and Andres?
I'm Andre Quiros. I am doing R&D and product development on actually building the physical machines.
Andreas, I do not envy your job right now because it seems like you guys are in over your head. At least at the current price point. I predict that the price point that you're aiming for is not going to be made. In the upcoming months, you're going to realize this can't be done. Not at the price point that we're looking at. You're going to be doing a lot of R&D. You're going to find out that all the components that you're wanting to put inside this machine are going to have to be proprietary for your equipment. Because if you try gathering equipment from Pinball Live, from Terry, or from Rick, from Planetary Pinball to get the proper Bally Williams parts, one, you're going to be spending out the ass for the licensing for using those parts or whatever. And I'm kind of curious on how well the materials would hold up with holding those heavy actual components. I am thirsty.
This is the first look at this machine itself. So, I mean, the size of it, I was actually asking Jerry, do you guys think there's a scale for this? What would you guys consider this compared to a full-size?
We were saying 3/4 scale, but now that it's getting closer, it might be more like 80-85% scale of a full size.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at the size of the ball compared to an original pinball, this is 22 millimeters. A full-size pinball is a 27, I think,
26,
right?
27.
26, 27. So I don't know what that scale is. Can't do math that quickly. You probably can. But yeah, so
with the pinball itself.
But that's the ball itself. And I think if you imagine that.
You gotta do a shit ton of imagining. You got us nothing to work with here. Nothing. Like just a blank fucking canvas for us to go, just imagine what you could do. Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine like crazy what you could do. But how you gonna do it in the price range that you're talking about? It ain't gonna happen. I need another drink. Pour myself another drink. Oh, yeah. How much? All right, so we're about halfway through the video right now. Let's see.
And all the components and all the play fields scaled down, you'll get an idea.
So, I mean, obviously there's no playfield in here, but this is the...
So they already just said that, scale down all the components and everything. They act like that's going to be easy. Like I said, Andreas, if that's your name, you've got some work ahead of you, guy. You're going to have to develop all these components, and then they're going to have to be plastic. Something that's going to be able to hold up and be strong enough to take the 3/4 scale pinball that you've got and develop something with ramps. And I don't think you're going to have mechs. I don't see it. I don't see what kind of mechs you're going to have. And if you're going to have something that regards to mechs, it's, I don't know. I just don't know how they're going to do it.
The potential size of the cabinet, is there going to be much changes, you think, from this to the final cabinet?
For the size of the box, we're pretty happy with this. We're actually already pretty far along with the mechanical design of all the different parts inside. We're expecting to have our first prototype with functional parts probably by CES in the next 2 months, and we're just kind of getting all the parts together.
So they're going to be taking this to CES. Holy shit. So let's see how things go right now. So right now, this is basically their first, like, this is something to give you an idea. Just use your imagination, guys. This is what we're working on. But we're going to have something for CES in a couple of months. So that I want to say CES is in, what, January? And I'm curious if, one, they show up, and two, how far along are they?
Together.
Nice.
But so far we're liking the height, we're liking the width, we're liking the overall feel. I think it's now just a matter of making sure all the components fit. We can fit in, you know, the bumpers, the flippers.
Yeah.
We want to have multi-ball in there. We want to have probably like a seven fan array of different ramps and stuff to go up and down. So
What are we looking at? Because there's obviously the playfield design. What is the theme of the pinball machine? Is it, I can assume
it's definitely a classic Alice in Wonderland, but based off the novel.
So we got another Alice in Wonderland game in the works, but this one's based off the Lewis Carroll novel. Okay. I mean, that's a good way to go because it's a free license. It's up for grabs. So that's where they're going to be saving a little bit of money right there, is on the licensing of it. I'm kind of curious of what they're going to do when it comes to animation and stuff, because I don't think they have anybody on the crew that is familiar with that. So it's going to be a third-party source, if I had to guess at this point in time.
You're going to see all your usual characters. We'll have a section for Mad Hatter. We'll have a Cheshire Cat. We have a whole Queen of Hearts section in a castle that we're ideating up right now. So we want to hit all the main characters, and each of them have their own little space in the space, and you know where they are and how big they are, and what's going to be a sculptural element versus what's a printed element. It's all being worked out right now. Obviously, like, we want more sculptures to make it more fun and interactive, but we have to balance that with price. And
Yes, you do. You're going to do a lot of balancing with everything when it comes to your price. Sculpts. Oh, here's the thing. Also, like I said earlier, I got to like say this is like they're not marketing towards the masses. They want it to be towards the masses, but it's not going to be towards us pinball enthusiasts. It's just not. We're going to look at this and we're going to make fun of it like I am right now. What this is going to be going towards is those of us or those people out there that want a pinball machine. They want to have a little bit of that nostalgia, but they don't want that price tag that they're seeing on all the machines, whether it be the secondhand market or even new in box. And this is kind of like prevalent to the Costco with Stern's Jurassic Park. Great game. Good quality and everything. But when you walk up to it and you see a $5,000 price tag, it's pretty intimidating for a lot of people out there that aren't familiar with the true cost of what these things have. And so maybe if you see one of these things set up at a Costco and you go up to it and it's $999 and you're able to flip it like an actual pinball machine, you might get some customers. But if it's set up next to a Stern Home Edition, you're definitely going to be looking at this like some freaking toy.
then with spacing, so we're figuring all that out right now.
There's a lot of room to play with, like in terms of the size component of it. I like it. Seeing it in person is like gives you still enough depth, and then maintenance side. So tell me about kind of who this is for. Is this going to be for kind of hardcore ring folks?
Oh, this is good. I cannot wait to hear this answer right here, because one, I was about to give you some shit there, B, about what your question was going. I'm like, dude, lay off the butter right here. Don't need to butter the bread too much. But they kind of look a little scared right now, too, according to this. But definitely, he's asking them what their target is. So I'm definitely curious to hear their answer. Let's see this.
I mean, I think the goal with the gameplay of the machine is to capture really like the kernel, the core element of pinball. Like, when you think about it, when you walk up to a pinball machine and you play it just in the first 2 or 3 minutes before you've really gone deep into the gameplay or all the various mechanics of the specific game, there's just the fun of the ball flowing around, coming off the flippers, coming off the pop bumpers, the targets, like all that stuff.
All right, well, you can tell he's in marketing because he is totally answering this kind of like a politician. They asked who the target market is. Who are you targeting towards? And he has yet to answer that.
Whoa, it's packed with some stuff.
That's what I would consider like the essence of pinball. That's what we're going to capture in this machine. And I think if you start with that idea and build out from there, I think that's the idea. That being said, that makes it kind of a more casual game, right?
Okay, finally, we get there to a little bit of an answer right here. More of a casual. Okay.
Right, so it's for somebody who maybe does what I just said, walks up, plays 10, 15, 20 minutes, plays a couple games, and then maybe doesn't play again for, you know, a little while, right?
I was standing by the sub 1,000 kind of target price point.
Yeah.
Such a niche space that doesn't exist, right? The home 10 market.
I mean, that's the idea.
4,000, and then the cheap end, we saw Zizzle. So,
Yeah.
I really like what we're seeing here in terms of pinball. Any kind of like final kind of what you project to be out a year from now. Do you see these in retail? Like, where could people potentially get more information to get one of these?
Okay, so what he just asked, because it's a little hard to hear that, he asked them, what do you project, like, when do you project this game to be out, and when will it be, and how will it be out? Will it be available, like, retail, or what? So we'll see what his response is.
So I think right now we're considering a Kickstarter.
What? He did not just say that. Hold up. Let me rewind.
Like, where could people potentially get more information to get one of these?
So I think right now we're considering a Kickstarter.
Red flag on the play. Look, no. Jesus! That point in time where you put some time and effort and some drinks in you, and you're curious about a product, and then you hear the word Kickstarter, and then it's like, well, why am I even doing this? So, whatever. Okay.
Probably the next Q1? Yeah, probably like Q1 of 2025. Once we really have it dialed in and we know what we're making.
So Q1 of 2025 is when he's looking at doing a Kickstarter. And what is the first thing at Q1 of 2025? That they've already stated that they're going to be attending CES. So, I wonder if the Kickstarter is going to be implemented after CES, during, before, what? And it's also one of those things where it's like a Kickstarter for something this complicated is going to be a difficult sell. There's one thing where I've seen Kickstarters for like new board games or other kind of simplistic designs that barely make it, but end up doing it, and congratulations to them. But when you have something this complex to manufacture, it's gonna be a hard sell to get this thing off the ground with enough people, unless the entire Arcade 1-Up crowd gets in here. And even then, I don't think that's gonna be enough to kickstart this.
I think as soon as we know that, we'll do a Kickstarter that will ship by the end of the year. And then a retail by the end of the year, possibly.
You don't even know yet. You don't even know. You don't know the freaking cost of your components. You don't know the layout. You barely know what theme you're doing. You don't even know all this stuff yet, guy. Peter, there's so much that's in the air right now, and you're trying to say that, you know, into the quarter next year, you don't know that. You know what? This guy, he should work for a Chicago gaming company. He should be marketing for them now. Because he's already got the lingo down. Should be next year. Could be next year. Yeah. Okay.
It kind of depends. We're still pretty early on. I mean, we just don't really know.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's a lot that we don't know yet.
It might be like a single retailer for 2025, if not definitely the next year we'll do it. And then the retailers are the same place we sold some of our last products out. It's hopefully Costco, Walmart will be a big one, GameStop if they have room for it. So yeah, hopefully.
Excited for in terms of like mech and from the design perspective.
This table or future tables?
Just like this table, like you say you're working on ramps and things. Like, is there something that
the deer in the headlights that I just saw as B asks him about merely design layout for this game. And he's like, oh, for this game or for future titles? Like, no, like we're talking about now. The one that should be probably pretty far along. Not like upcoming titles. You better not even have other titles lined up behind this one yet. You need to focus on this. You need to focus on whether or not you can actually build this at the price you're looking at. You've got a cabinet. That's it. I could do this. I could literally do this. There's very little, guys, that I see a company promote and say that they're going to do that I can go, I could do this. I literally could do what they're doing right now. I could have a tablet behind a monitor. I could have all this cabinet put together and be like, yeah, this is what I plan on doing. And we're just going to see how it goes. And if I could do it, that's a very low freaking bar.
That excites you when you're...
To me, like, I'm all multi-ball. So
If you're all multi-ball, then you should go work for Jersey Jack. Go play Guns N' Roses, and then you'll be a big fan of that game. Oh my god.
So like I'm always excited about like how we load our multi-ball, how you activate your multi-ball, how quick you can get multi-ball. Like I think one of the funnest things is when you have like the chaos of everything flowing around. So that's why
I disagree with this to an extent, guys. I believe multi-ball should definitely be something that you work towards, but I feel like it should also be earned. Okay, not how quickly so much that you can load a multi-ball, but you could do it quickly if you accomplish the correct tasks. And for instance, I use the game Black Knight 2000 as a good example of this. Like, technically, could you load up your multi-ball for that game? If you're skilled enough, yes, you could. But it's not, like, exactly easy to go about doing it, for me at least. But it's still, like, an earned thing, and it's a pretty big kind of moment whenever, you know, it's the battle and you have the multi-ball going. That never got old for me.
the one feature I'm most excited about, and I'm spending like the most time thinking about right now. Yeah.
Is it going to be a two-flipper game for now?
Right now we're doing two. We have two flippers right now as our current model.
So they have a two flipper currently as their design for this.
All right, well, I look forward to seeing the final product. Peter, Andre, thank you so much. All right.
Bye.
So final.
Okay, so B is going into his final thoughts. So look, let me close this out. B, by the way, thank you very much for I'm going to say allowing me to use this. I'm going to assume it's okay with you. But like, I'm obviously giving you the credit here. Link, like I said, to his channel, video description down below. But, because like I said, I already interviewed somebody at Expo and spoke with them about this. And the amount of information I just got from this video is not a great deal more than I obtained from somebody else. Like I stated, it was more of like, you know, we're still early. We're still figuring these things out. Yeah, we're just going to have to see. Well, what about this? Yeah, we're just going to have to see. Okay. I get you. You're just going to have to wait and see on this and everything. But I also hear that you're doing a Kickstarter. That's like, raise the red flags on this one, guys. I mean, it's like, I don't doubt, especially when you have the creator for Arcade 1-Up. I have no doubts that, like, commercially, you're able to, like, you know how and get this product out to people and stuff. But I think what you're going to have a rude awakening on is creating the parts that you're going to need in order to do this. You're going to have to, like, configure and remake all these components for a pop bumper. And how many components are in a pop bumper? How many components are in a whole flipper assembly? And then you're going to be like, okay, so we have to rebuild all of this on a smaller scale. That's when you're going to be like, shit. So, there you have it. That's Wonderland Amusements and what they're working on. It's one of those where it's like, I wish them well. And like I said, it's definitely for a market that is not for me. not for majority of the audience that's currently watching this. By all means, I wish you guys nothing but the best, and I'm hoping that, you just blow us out of the water, and what you in fact create is something like, wow, how did they go about doing this in the price point that they're asking for? But it's gonna be, it's gonna be difficult for me to just, I cannot see this. It's difficult. I don't know. I'm gonna finish this glass off, and I don't know if I should do any more recording for tonight.